Okay, back again for part two. This time we're going to get a little bit more in depth with how you submit the application. Um, Before we got to the point where you could get onto the application, again, not hard. You can read and kind of interpret what needs to be done, but it's helpful to actually see a real application. Oh, I'm sorry. Let me stay here and share my screen first. So we'll go ahead and share the screen. Let me present everyone. Okay, now let me jump back to my web browser here, maybe. Sorry about that, one more second. Well, thought I was gonna have no problem doing that. Let me see. Here we go. Sorry about the delay. So we're gonna jump back. This is again, I'm gonna log out just to go from the beginning. So again, you come into the safe login area, put this in the video notes, we'll sign in. Once we're here, adult learner, remember that's key. Once we're to the adult learner area, we're gonna go to select program 22 plus adult high school. So this is not the process for anyone who's creating an application. Remember, provider, new application, and then you'll check the affidavit. And once you've checked the affidavit, you'll read, start the application. There's another drop down. Let's pretend you got to that point, right? You click on whatever this next piece is. Do you want to start the application? Yes. What your screen's going to look like, and I'm sorry, I'm not going to do this for us just so it doesn't create an issue since we already have an approved application. I want to show you what that next screen looks like when you actually are working on putting in the components. So again, just know that that's where you're at. Let me show you on our application what all this looks like. So this is actually our application. You should see these tabs: general, personnel, application, participating buildings, docs, status, flags, comments, history. This is what you'll see kind of essentially with general. It's not a huge to do. It's kind of auto-generated. Under personnel, it's important that you see at least one personnel that has this HSD nominator status. If you don't see it, let me see how we can do this. So if you don't see it, I believe that there's a way, especially if you are on your OEDS administrator dashboard, that you can assign, like, email all personnel. It won't be there, but there's a way, again, if you're on the administrative account, that you can add a role and assign someone to it. I don't have that access, so I can't show it, but it is important that at least one person has this HSD nominator status, or you won't be able to submit the application. With that said, let's take a look at application. Under the application, this is where we kind of get into the real processes that I can show you. We're going to go through a few examples here just so you get the drift. Again, all the stuff on this web system, pardon me, takes a decent amount of time to load. There is stuff that will load up. It just takes a moment. In fact, it takes usually up to a minute, sometimes even a minute and a half to load. It's important to allow this to fully load, because if you try to put in parts of your application and this isn't loaded, it could create errors. So just kind of hang tight. Once you put in these documents, you won't have to continue to do anything on this part of the web system, which is very slow. So it's just kind of a one-time process for enduring the wait. Here we go. So with this is kind of a copy-paste scenario. When each of these is a question that has the little green light here. So the graduation rate, you essentially copy and paste, and you can do this off your state report card. I think I may have grabbed an old one for Invictus. you can copy and paste your exact data for the last 8 years if applicable, and you just paste it in here. Once you pasted it, you'll see that there is a next button. You don't have to save or anything. So once you pasted it in fact, there may be a button that pops up where you can save. So you want to save it, but then you go to the next, and your next question will be this assessment process. I've written one up. If you've modified it, no problem. Whatever you've got written, please copy and paste it. This isn't a scenario where you have to upload a PDF or a Word doc or a Google document. You just kind of want to copy paste, and it's going to feel very redundant because most of the questions asked here are repeated under the docs where you upload the PDF or Word doc. So again, you'll copy paste. I forget what happens, and now that I've already kind of saved all of these, I can't modify this at all, but copy paste here. If a button appears in this portion of the screen to save, certainly do that, and then go to the next. Again, I was able to share a Google folder that has all the answers to all these questions. If a file name isn't lining up with one of the questions being asked, certainly let me know. But you simply copy paste under this applications tab. Make sure you've got all these green lights lit. There are 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 green lights that need to be lit. I believe there's a button down here when you're satisfied with all the answers. Are you ready to fully submit this section? Something to that effect. When you say yes, just know that it is locked. You can no longer modify any of the items that you've copied and pasted in here. It's kind of frozen. So be sure that you've kind of saved the stuff the way you want it before you finalize and lock this in. I forget the language on the button, but once you click it, it's locked in stone. So that is application. We're going to next go to participating buildings. You probably will only have one. It will correlate with the main building that your IRN number is associated with. All you'll do here is simply check accepting where we have the checkbox, and then I think it says submit here. You'll click that. And then under docs, this is somewhat redundant, but you'll click the upload docs button. Then you'll say the type. Let's say it's your assessment process. Make sure that's there. Then you can either click this and pull it from your computer wherever you have it stored, or if you maybe have downloaded it or you have 2 monitors, you can drag and drop the file in here. But what you simply do is choose the document, whatever it is. Then, okay, if you're going to upload the competency assessment and prior credit page, again, just click this black text here. It will open up a browse box where you can find all your files. So just systematically upload each thing. You will know that the upload worked if you see 2 things. I believe these start with like a red exclamation point or something indicating that there's no document uploaded. Under this upload document type, these do not start out with a number. Once you put something in, you'll see kind of like this orangish button appear with a number in. That's how many documents are uploaded under that heading. You will also then see these start to generate where you see your actual file, like the name of the file and the type. So you can see whatever you named it and the type you've uploaded as, and then it mirrors itself over there. You again want to make sure that there's at least one document uploaded for 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 categories over here. You can upload, as many docs as you want to the category, but if you don't at least have one doc for all the categories, and there are 10 of them over here, you've not gone as far as you need to. Once you've uploaded all those, we'll look at status flags, okay? Again, on an administrator's account, when you've fulfilled all those steps, there's a button over on this side of the screen that will allow you to submit. Once you've fulfilled all the parts that we just discussed, you should be able to submit this without any issue. Now, when you submit, it will say under the current status, submitted, you may have to refresh the page in order to get it. So just go up to your refresh wheel and make sure that the page is refreshed. If you click submit and you don't see submitted status, there's an issue, just let me know. So the comments history, unless there's an error made, there's really no reason to do any comments there. So we won't even worry about that. Just unless there's a mistake made and something needs to be noted, we won't even bother with doing anything there. You can submit your application here without having anything under the comments history. So that's a lot of information. I hope that makes pretty good sense. Let me jump back to the Hangout for a second. Right, there we go. I'm going to stop sharing my screen. So again, this process is actually pretty easy. ODE is pretty, I think, reasonable in their expectation, but you must have all those docs uploaded under the appropriate categories. You can't have anything blank. In fact, the application probably will not be able to be submitted if you do. But any challenges in figuring out like what doc to upload under what heading, please let me know. But you should be well on your way with this part two of submitting your 22+ application. Thanks so much.